All right, guys, welcome back to Booze and News. It's your host, Jonathan Fleischner.
Yeah.
And Albert De Leo.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be in our most positive selves because I'm still like decompressing over what the fuck happened yesterday. You know what I mean? We were on the air live for hours yesterday just watching the madness, and I stayed up because yesterday was January 6th, and there was an attack on our nation's capital that
Yeah.
was a riot that was incited by Donald Trump at his rally.
And the cherry on top was that the police basically let him do it. Let open the doors for him.
Yep. So I'm gonna play a clip for everybody. By now, I'm sure the whole world has fucking seen this shit, but we're gonna watch it one more time. I'm gonna play this clip, Albert, and yeah.
Earlier, members of
Oh, I gotta pull that up.
Yeah, if you want to just simmer for 15 minutes.
All right. Pull this. Oh, wrong one. All right. Pop this. Actually, I'm gonna pop this right here. And then move this. God dang it! I keep grabbing the wrong thing. All right, live. No, not live. All right, there we go. I'm gonna put this video just here in the corner. All right.
both parties condemned President Trump, saying he is to blame for inciting the violence.
Meantime, a San Diego woman shot inside the Capitol has died, and a curfew in Washington, D.C. remains in effect until morning. We have live team coverage on the violence and the reaction and what's ahead.
KTLA 5's John Fenolio begins live in the newsroom with what happened. John.
Well, Sharon, Mike, the certification process stalled again because Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri signed the objection raised by Republicans about the election results in Pennsylvania. Now, this stop and start following hours of chaos in the Capitol when a mob of Trump supporters pushed through police barricades and stormed inside.
Shots
Capitol. Fired inside the U.S. Capitol as armed pro-Trump demonstrators stormed the building. Inside, police evacuate House and Senate members who had convened to certify state electoral college votes and formally recognize President-elect Joe Biden's victory. Capitol Police overwhelmed by an angry mob determined not to accept the results of the 2020 presidential election.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore.
Hours earlier, President Trump rallied a crowd.
Yeah.
He's like, we will not accept reality.
Yeah.
We do not do that here.
We do not live in reality. We believe in lizard people and shape-shifting aliens. And god damn it, I won this thing. I know it's hard to make light of it, honestly, dude, because it is so fucking surreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like it's not like I didn't. I'm surprised. You know, you and I have been telling people for months now. These people are fucking scary. They're white supremacists. They are. That's all they are. They're just white nationalists, racists. They live in some non-reality. And this motherfucker incited a riot yesterday. And he told them we're gonna show it here in a minute. He tells them to go down there, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna go with you." Like he's gonna fucking actually go. He's a little bitch. He didn't fucking go. He went home and watched it on TV. And he apparently laughed at it and didn't even want to call the National Guard as they destroyed the Capitol.
Because he's a...
Yeah, what were you saying?
Well, he's a joke. He's a clown. He's a jokester.
He's a fucking dictator. That's what this proved. I mean, he's a dictator. I know this is a long clip, but I want to get to it because there's just so much in this clip.
Yeah.
So...
of loyal supporters and called on Vice President Mike Pence to exercise authority he does not have to overturn the will of voters.
And Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us. And if he doesn't, that will be a sad day for our country.
Thousands then marched to Capitol Hill and clashed with police. At one point, an armed standoff unfolded as officers attempted to keep Trump supporters from entering the House chamber.
The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not reflect a true America.
It gives me shivers, dude.
As the unrest intensified, President-elect Biden implored President Trump to call off his people.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege.
A short time later, the president tweeted a video message.
I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us.
Calling for peace while
That's okay. So part of the reason why I picked this clip, like I said, I know it's long. It was I couldn't. Some of these clips were actually removed. There was a lot of banning going on yesterday, just so you know, Albert. Some of these clips were straight up removed from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You couldn't find them. That clip of him going on Twitter, right, as the response to the Joe Biden, was taken down almost immediately because he claims in the video the lecture was stolen. He doesn't, you know what I mean? And at one point he does tell people to, like, oh, you know, respect police, but this election was stolen from us. And he told them they were going to march from the fucking rally down Pennsylvania Avenue. I think that's coming up.
Stoking division with more false claims of widespread election fraud.
This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special.
Back in the Capitol late Wednesday.
This failed insurrection only underscores how crucial the task before us is.
So, all right. So, all right. Let's just go over that. I just want to go over this piece by piece, man. This is so Trump. This is such a dictator. You know what I mean? Where you go, people are committing sedition. The Capitol, where the Senate and the House meet, is the foundation of our freedom. It's not the president, because that's a monarchy. It is the House and the Senate that represent the states, you know what I mean, that really represent the people, right?
Yeah.
And the entire diversity of our nation. So it is the most sacred ground, and he invited them there to go fuck shit up. And then he tells them, after they fuck shit up, we love you and you're special.
They basically thank you. Go home.
Basically,
now.
thank you. Oh, and he didn't even want to call the National Guard, from what I hear. And Mitch McConnell, that fucking amorphous blob, actually came out and condemned Trump finally. But this is what the fuck happens. They all been sucking up and little cucks to Trump for 4 years now, since he got the nomination, you know?
Yep.
And we knew this motherfucking shit was gonna happen.
Yeah.
There's that amazing tweet. Did you see Lindsey Graham's tweet? It's been resurfacing from 2016. No. He said, if we let Donald Trump win this nomination, he is going to destroy this party or this country or something like that.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
Smart man.
Well, he's a kind of dummy, but he knew, he's a Republican that knew what the fuck was going to happen. So, all right, I'm going to play a little bit more of this because there's just more crazy shit, and then...
Lawmakers from both parties condemned the violence after reconvening to certify Biden's win.
This mob was in good part President Trump's doing, incited by his words,
100% his fucking fault.
his lies.
Our kids need to know that this isn't what America is. There are some who want to burn it all down. We met some of them today, but they aren't going to win. Don't let them be your prophets. Instead, organize, persuade, but most importantly, love your neighbor.
And one of the president's most ardent supporters delivered a blunt message.
This is Lindsey Graham.
All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough. I've tried to be helpful. When it's over, it is over. It is over. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are lawfully elected and will become the president and the vice president of the United States on January the 20th.
Several Republican House members also raised objections.
So I'm just gonna cut it there because I know what happened. I stayed up all night watching this shit. So it took hours, Albert. I watched every bit of it because I wanted to make sure that I wanted to see with my own eyeballs after that fucking madness, right?
Right.
That democracy is still possible. That they're still gonna have this vote to certify the election results. That the fucking terrorist won't win. And so I stayed up. It took until I want to say like 3 a.m. Central Standard Time to fucking do that. It took them fucking forever of debating, hearing motions, second motions, signing, Senate, House, getting all the approval, all the paperwork. And this is just what I gotta say, and then I'll bring it to you. But it was so a couple things. One, this was all stupid as fuck because there wasn't a chance in hell, just so you know, if you didn't already know, that any of those motions were gonna pass. The first motion in the Senate, it failed. It failed originally 93-6, and then it failed again 93-7 after the debate. Okay?
Right.
Never was gonna pass. In the House, it failed. And there was a lot of people who voted for it in the House. There was like 106, I think, but it still failed to like 250 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was never going to pass. The president knew it wasn't going to pass. He tried to have a coup, go down to the fucking Capitol, and overthrow the government. And the fact that he's not sitting in jail right now, I don't understand. Because if either of us did that, we'd probably be getting executed. You know what I mean? And like your point about the police earlier, I get what you're saying because I've seen footage of police opening gates, helping these mob people downstairs and taking selfies with them and shit.
Yeah.
If that would have been a black person for Black Lives Matter, you know how many people would have died yesterday?
Oh, man. There's no telling. Or how many people would have gone blind or they would have had a busted head.
I'm surprised the one person they killed was that crazy bitch who was... Dude, I was sympathetic for her yesterday, but now I've seen her tweets and shit. She's a crazy QAnon person that believes in all this shit. And
yeah, she's insane. And in fact, speaking of it's funny you brought that up because I saw a clip of her ranting angrily, of course, like a crazy person.
Yep.
About what do you think? What we were talking about, why this whole thing started in the first place.
Racism?
Mexicans, yeah, goddamn Mexicans.
Surprise, surprise. The people who believe in dumb bullshit are too dumb to not be racist. You know what I mean?
That was it. That was the clip I saw of her. She had like a red face just screaming about how illegals and all this.
That's all it is, dude. This is their country.
Right.
This is their hegemony that we talked about in the word of the day. I love when I can use it again, but today I had to make it the word of the day. This is their fucking culture, and they are afraid of sharing it with anybody else because then they're not special, they're not important. Well, I got some advice for these people. You know what I mean? For one, if you want to live in a place where they have authoritarian government and they don't respect women's rights or trans people's rights or gay people's rights or people of color, move your ass to Russia. Get the fuck out of here, because that's not America. Okay?
Yeah.
Get the fuck. Go to China. Go to some of these other countries where they don't have democracy. That's not how democracy works.
Right. And so it's just funny because they were the ones screaming at everyone else all the time. You should get out of here. You don't like it, get out. It's just like you're the ones that are so unhappy here.
Well, you're the ones that are the oppressors, that are scared of anything to change because you have little dick energy. And
right.
I know this is going to be me being really angry today, but I am angry, man. And what makes me mad is I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed because I have a beard and I'm white and I don't want to be lumped in with these fucking morons ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be looked at as like a fucking Proud Boy or some Nazi scum. I'm German. I don't ever want that. You know, my family left Germany to escape authoritarianism, and they barely made it out.
Right.
Fuck that shit, man. And you know what? This is what's so absurd about all this, dude. Look, they stormed the Capitol. There was barely any police there, even though the vice president was there. The vice president-elect was there. The whole Senate and Congress was there, and there was barely any guards. And these people stormed in, and what did they do once they got in there? These people are so privileged that they just started taking stupid shit, looting dumb shit, and taking selfies everywhere. That is not the sign of oppression. That is the sign of privilege. When you get let in, basically, and then you just take selfies. How the fuck oppressed are you that you got to go take your
and the guy with his feet on the desk, that's going to be iconic forever.
There's so many iconic photographs. There's people vaping and smoking weed, and people standing on the Senate floor dressed like a fucking dumbass Viking from Skyrim or some shit, just completely out of their goddamn mind. You know what I mean? Dressed like some kind of Native American Viking thing, and he's just white as it fucking can be. And here's what's crazy. The right is already saying that those were Antifa people disguised as Trump supporters that broke into the White House. Have you heard about this shit?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that Antifa, dressed up like MAGA people, went to Trump's rally, listened to all of his bullshit, didn't fuck anything up there, marched with the Trump people down to the White House and fucked everything up? It's all an elaborate fucking... These people will believe anything, man.
Well, and they'll say anything, and the truth is, for one, here's for one. Even if it was true, no one will give a fuck. No one cares about any of the details of that shit.
It just pisses me off.
If that's the case, I'll tell you right now, if they came out and be like, "Hey, guess what? It was actually," I wouldn't give a rat's ass. The same shit to me.
They're never going to accept the truth, Albert.
It's the same. I don't care about they're dressed up, they're disguised. I don't know.
No, it's all, but that's all bullshit. That's all conspiracy.
Yeah.
That's all their mind. Yeah. It's like their mind is rotted by lies. And so instead of wanting truth, they just want more lies.
Well, they're just feeling insecure and ashamed, and they'll make up anything. But like I said, like, even if some of them were actually doing that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's all grouped into the same horse shit.
Can I tell you something?
They're all crazy
Albert,
people.
From the moment I woke up yesterday, and I woke up late, hungover as normal, and I stayed up late, reading, watching, scared, but watching so much footage, and I didn't see any counter protesters out there. That's not what I saw. I've been at protests, bro. I've seen when counter protesters and protesters clash. And by the way, these Trump people weren't protesters. They went to the Capitol, the most sacred part of our nation, and broke in. They are an angry mob, and they're treason. And everything they did was treason. But, you know, I'm going to leave it on this, man. A couple things, and you can give me your notes. For one, here's some takeaways. That was the first time that anyone has broken into the Capitol since 1814, if you didn't know. The last time that happened, it was the British, and they were the Redcoats. In 2021, it happened, and it was the Trumpers, and they're the fucking Red Hats, all right?
Right.
So I don't like the color red, and I'm sorry I'm wearing a red hat right now. I just it fucking happened to go with what the fuck I was wearing today. Number two.
It looks good.
Thank you. It is supporting Eighth Wonder, which is the only reason I bought this fucking hat in the first place, which is one of my favorite Houston breweries. Second of all.
Hell yeah.
Second of all, Mike Pence did the right thing. And they're saying that Trump has basically, he's not meeting with Mike Pence anymore, and there's talk about the 25th Amendment. We're going to go into that next week. About basically getting Trump out as soon as possible. We're going to go into that next week. But Mike Pence actually did the right fucking thing. And I'm impressed that he did that. I'm impressed by all these Republicans that actually finally stood up to Donald Trump yesterday. And number
and it only took for their job to get invaded.
Dude,
for them to finally say that shit.
How many of these people were pissing their pants?
I would have been.
Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, these motherfuckers who were senators who helped incite this riot, as well as Donald Trump lying to these people, telling them that the election was stolen from them. That's a bold-faced lie. And they're responsible too. And they, you know what? In my opinion, Donald Trump should be taken out of the office and locked up. And Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley and these other motherfuckers who continued even after what happened to stand by the president's lie, they should be removed from office. They should never be allowed into elected office ever again. In my opinion, it's the same way, like whenever they tried to have the Civil War and separate the Confederacy from the Union, these people did that shit yesterday, and it's sedition and it's treasonous. And I know we can't keep going on this topic, but I'm going to leave you with this, and that's that I don't know where we're going to go from here, man. And next week I want to talk about Hitler, actually, because I know this is U.S. news, but we have to be very careful with what happens now, Albert. You know, Hitler committed treason, and he planned a coup before he took power. He actually tried to take over the government, and we're going to go into it next time. And he was arrested for it, and he was supposed to serve 5 years in jail, which was still a slap on the wrist at the time. And he ended up only serving 9 months in jail, and that's when he wrote Mein Kampf. And when he got out of jail, the Nazi Party had more strength than ever. So we have to be very careful with what the fuck we do with Donald Trump right now. Because Hitler did almost something similar, and look what the fuck happened. So anyway, this has been U.S. News this week. It's a grim. This is the darkest week for U.S. news in my whole lifetime. Fuck 9/11. Fuck any of that. This is it.
Well, 9/11 is pretty bad, but this is
this is worse. This is worse.
You think so?
This is a civil war in my lifetime. This is worse, dude. 9/11 was a disaster, a terrorist attack. But this is a worse terrorist attack. This is not a foreign terrorist attack. This is a domestic terrorist attack. Where we have who knows how many millions of Americans listening to this fucking crazy bozo into conspiracy shit, Albert, who are willing to kill and to destroy. You know what I mean? They're willing to go to war and die for this dumb bullshit.
Well, I guess I'm speaking like on sad terms, but yeah, this is definitely not good.
It's worse. No, this is worse because this is a threat to our democracy. That was not a threat to our democracy. It was tragic.
That was just a major tragedy.
It was a tragedy, but it wasn't a threat to our democracy like this. So anyway, I'm gonna leave y'all with that for U.S. News this week. Thank you guys, and next week we're gonna be talking about Hitler and comparing Trump to him. Yeah.
Like we do.